of the Master. Words of the Master, where we look at all of the things that Yeshua has said and the situations that caused him to speak. Right now, we're looking at the last day of Yeshua, actually part 10. Because this last day, there's so many things that go on in the last day of Yeshua. Such a long day from their, preparation for the day, moving into the evening time, and Yeshua, he didn't get much sleep on his last day. I don't think he went to sleep his last day. Stayed up all night. And so we're looking at, all of the things that happened on that last day. We'll look at today Matthew 26, verse 57. We're skipping over something in the middle because in between kind of the main text of what's going on is what goes on with Peter in the midst, which we'll talk about next week. So Matthew 26, 57, and then we'll drop down to 59 through 68. I think that we have the same things basically happen in Mark and Luke and John. I think Luke gives us kind of one extra piece of information, and we'll mention that as we go. But I think what we'll do is look at Matthew's version and talk about that. We'll read Matthew 26, verse 57, and then drop down to 59 and read through 60.
Wait, so why are we skipping 58? You skipping it? Okay.
Yeah, we'll come back to 58 next because it's like a whole other thing.
Matthew 26, 57. And those who had seized Yeshua led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were gathered together. Verse 59. And the chief priests and the elders and all the council were seeking false witness against Yeshua to put him to death, but found none. Although many false witnesses came forward, they found none. But at least two false witnesses came forward and said, this one said, I am able to destroy the dwelling place of Elohim and to build it in there in 3 days. Excuse me. And the high priest stood up and said to him, have you no answer to make? What do these witness against you? But Yeshua remained silent, and the high priest said to him, I put you to oath by the living Elohim that you say to us, if you are the Messiah, the son of Elohim. Yeshua said to him, you have said it. Besides, I say to you, from now on you shall see the son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of the heaven. And then the high priest tore his garment, saying, he has blasphemed. Why do we need any more witnesses? See, now you have heard his blasphemy. What do you think? I am answering, said, he is liable to death. Then they spat in his face and beat him, and others slapped him, saying, prophesy to us, Messiah. Who is the one who struck you?
And let's add to that Luke 22, 64 and 65.
Luke 22, 64. And having blindfolded him, they were striking him in the face and were asking him, saying, prophesy, who is it that struck you? And they said to him, much more blasphemy.
Okay, very good. All right, so if we go back, we remember from last week, we had Judas come and betray Yeshua, and now the people are. We had Peter try to cut the guy's head off. I don't know if he tried to cut his head off. I say that he tried to cut his head off, and maybe an angel saved the guy and kind of made him tilt a little bit, because I was saying that it takes great skill to swing a blade and just cut someone's ear off. So either he was extremely skillful, or the Most High saved that man's life and had him just cut his ear off instead of his whole head. Anyway, that happened, and now they've taken Yeshua. The disciples have scattered and went into hiding. And we have essentially, it says, they take him away to the high priest, and the scribes are there. The elders are gathered together. Essentially, they have the entire Sanhedrin, the council, is there, and they want to have this trial against Yeshua, because they want to kill him, but they want to do it in a somewhat orderly fashion, I guess. They want to kind of legally, as much as as legal as they can, kill Yeshua. And so, when we look at 59, we see where, again, it says the chief priests, the elders, and all the council, which is essentially the Sanhedrin, all of the elders of Israel. It's interesting. Read 59 and 60 again for us.
It says, and the chief priests and the elders and all the council were seeking false witness against Yeshua to put him to death, but found none. Although many false witnesses came forward, they found none, but at least 2 false witnesses came forward.
Is it the way that this is worded is so interesting, because when you look at this, it seems like they're looking for false witnesses. Right? That's what it says, right? The council were seeking false witnesses. I think the idea of false witnesses is what the writers are putting in. They can't be looking for false witnesses. Right? They're looking for an actual witnesses. It just happens that they are false. Right? How could they be looking for false witnesses? Right? They're trying to convict Yeshua from breaking some Torah law, and in doing that, if we look at this the way that it's written here, it's one of the 10 commandments is don't do false witness, don't bear false witness, and so they're looking for witnesses. It just so happens that they can't find any, right? It says it right there, but they found none. So even when you read it in its own context, they're looking for false witness, and they found none. Did they find no false witnesses, or they found no regular witnesses?
They didn't find any valid reasons that they could put them with that.
Yes. Yes. And so they found no witnesses. They did, in fact, find false witnesses, right? They found people who had things to say, but they weren't things that were valid. And that's what it says. And so if we look, again, the master Yeshua was, of course, innocent. So they're looking for witnesses. He lived this sinless life. It was not like they could find somebody to come and say a thing. Well, there was this one time that he did this one thing. That was sin. But there is an investigation. There's an investigation that has to take place. Although we understand that the intent of these chief priests and the elders, the Sanhedrin, although we understand that the intent is wrong, the manner in which they're doing it according to the Torah. Look at Deuteronomy. It's interestingly enough. Look at Deuteronomy 19. Let's look at 19:15 through 21.
Deuteronomy chapter 19:15. One witness does not rise up against a man concerning any crookedness or any sin that he commits at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses. A matter is established. When a malicious witness rises up against any man to accuse him of turning aside, then both men have the dispute shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges who serve in those days. And the judges shall diligently search and see if the witness is a false witness who has falsely accused his brother. Then you shall keep on.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you shall
21.
Okay. Shall do to him as he thought to have done to his brother. Thus you shall purge the evil from your midst, and let the rest hear and fear, and never do this evil matter in your midst. And let your eye not pardon, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
Okay, very good. So when we look at 18, the judges shall diligently search and see if the witness is a false witness. They have to have the witness come, and they have to diligently search and see. Now, the priests and the elders, the Pharisees, the Sanhedrin, they have accusations against Yeshua. They say that he's done and said these blasphemous things. He's broken tradition, which, to a degree they held as law. They, in their minds, are looking at Yeshua and the things that he's done and say that he has done things that are worthy of death. But they have to diligently search and see if if there is an actual case against him. The discrepancy is, though, that they're looking for witnesses, they found none. If there's false witnesses, then something needs to happen to them. Something needs to happen to them, right? And so we can look at the process that they're doing, and there's problems with what they're doing. If we go all the way to the bottom of things, Yeshua said to them, if you seen Moses, you seen me. If they had a real understanding of what the Torah is actually saying, they wouldn't be doing any of this in the first place. So it's a huge kind of ignorance, misunderstanding thing that's going on. It's it's somewhat hard to kind of take this thing seriously that they're doing, because if we think about the fact that they're supposed to diligently search, they're diligently searching for a witness that is going to say the thing that they want for him to say. And then again, if a false witness comes forward, then he's supposed to get the same judgment that you trying to get him to get. But again, we look at back in Matthew, there were many false witnesses that came forward. Many witnesses that came forward, they found none.
So they should have all got crucified. Should have been a whole bunch of people.
Yes. 61. 61 is another interesting thing. Can you read verse 61 again?
Matthew 26:61, and said, this one said, I am able to destroy the dwelling place of Elohim and to build it in 3 days.
Okay, so this is interesting because this is something that maybe somebody was onto something when, one of these witnesses brings this thing up here.
Yeah.
Because if we look over at John, let's go back over to John, because this thing happened, and this is something that was said by Yeshua. If we go over to John, look at John 2, 13. Read 13 down to 22.
John chapter 2, verse 13. And the Pesach of the Yehudim was near, and Yeshua went up to Jerusalem. He found in the set-apart place those selling oxen and sheep and doves, and the money changers sitting. And having made a whip of cords, he drove them out of the set-apart place with the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the money changers' coins, and overturned the tables. And he said to those selling doves, take these away. Do not make the house of my Father a house of merchandise. And his taught ones remembered that it was written, the order of your house has eaten me up. And the Yehudim answered and said to him, what sign do you show to us, since you are doing these? Yeshua answered and said to them, destroy this dwelling place, and in 3 days I shall raise it. And the Yehudim said, it took 46 years to build this dwelling place, and you are going to raise it in 3 days? But he spoke about the dwelling place of his body. So when he was raised from the dead, his taught ones remembered that he said this to them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Yeshua has said.
Okay, very good. So if we look at 19, I think someone might be onto something here. Right, 19, he said, destroy this. This is what Yeshua said, destroy this dwelling place, and in 3 days I shall raise it. Uh-oh. So they got him then. Right?
He didn't say I will.
Huh? What? Hearsay. Oh, no, that's what he said, right? That's
He
what
didn't say
Yeshua.
I'm going to do it though.
Huh?
He switched his words. That's what I said. That's a terroristic threat.
Yes, there's that minor discrepancy, right? Just switch the whole thing, right? They said that he said, I am able to destroy the dwelling place of Elohim and build it in 3 days. He didn't say that. Right? He just mentioned the idea of the temple could be a destroyed temple. I can, in 3 days, I shall raise it. Now, there's two things here. Number one, he didn't say that he was going to destroy the temple. And number two, he's not really talking about the physical temple anyway.
Right.
He's metaphorical again. He's speaking in hyperbole over here. He's talking about his own self resurrecting. And so this is why whenever it goes, if we go back to Matthew, this is why when we look at verse 62, in verse 62, and 63, here, reread 62 and 63 again.
Matthew 26:62, and the high priest stood up and said to him, have you no answer to make? What do these witness against you? But Yeshua remained silent.
Okay, so he don't got nothing to say, right? Because they messed up with that, with their evidence, right? He didn't say that, so he's still quiet now. They're make all these people that are coming. They're saying whatever it is that they're saying. Before that, I guess whatever it was that they said is so unimportant and so unnecessary, we don't even know what the previous witnesses said, right? It's not recorded. It's so insignificant. This one was the closest to being something that might have been relevant, but it was off. And we see Yeshua, he still don't say nothing. But finish the rest of that verse there.
63. But Yeshua remained silent. So the high priest said to him, I put you to oath by the living Elohim that you say to us, if you are the Messiah, the son of Elohim.
Okay, now, however long this took for them to get to this place, they're saying whatever it is they're saying, and Yeshua, he's not saying nothing. But they get to this point over here where now they are compelling Yeshua to speak. And, by the way, he don't have a choice but to speak right now. Which is so interesting because let's go over to Leviticus 5. Let's look at Leviticus 5 and verse 1. Leviticus 5 and verse 1.
Leviticus 5 and 1. And when a being sins in that he has heard the voice of swearing, and is a witness, or has seen, or has known, but does not reveal it, he shall bear his crookedness.
Okay, so Yeshua, he doesn't sin, not one that sinned, but he does have accusations against him. And so they're calling Yeshua to witness, and when they do this voice of swearing thing, it's essentially, typically if one makes an oath, their self, like you say what you swear that you're going to do. But when you do this thing, this voice of swearing, where you hear this voice of swearing, it's as if someone's like causing you to speak and make an oath, based on their unctioning. And so it takes this to happen for Yeshua to say anything. Because it's almost as if, again, he's compelled to do it based on them kind of backing them into the corner by doing this whole I put you to an oath thing. We kind of see a similar thing when we look at Numbers 5. Look at Numbers 5, 19 and 21. It's almost like what we see what they do here in Leviticus chapter 5, but in when the man takes his wife and does the jealousy thing against her, it's kind of the same type of a thing where you're placing her under the hearing of this oath, and then she's becoming bound by the thing that's kind of spoken over. Numbers 5:19 and 21.
And the priest shall make her swear and say to the woman, if no man has lain with you, and if you have not turned aside to uncleanness under your husband's authority, be freed from this bitter water that brings a curse. Verse 21, then the priest shall make the woman swear with the oath of the curse, and he shall say to the woman, Yahweh make you a curse and an oath among your people, when Yahweh makes your thigh waste away and your belly swell.
Okay, so it's kind of the same idea that's happening with, in terms of Leviticus, in terms of Numbers, with this idea of an oath kind of being put on you. And again, when we look back in Matthew, until this priest pulls out kind of this trump card, Yeshua has nothing to say. But now, and I guess we're getting to the point where this is what they wanted from him in the first place. Like, these are the things that they're accusing him of. They couldn't find nobody, for whatever reason, to bear witness. So now they put the priest, the high priest puts, I put you to oath, where they do this interesting thing, which in fact compels Yeshua to have a response to what he says. And he essentially is affirming the thing that the priest has said. He said, you have said it. He basically said, you speak correctly. The thing that you said is the case. And in addition, along with that, like, he don't never negate what it was that they're saying over here, that you are the Messiah, the Son of Elohim. There's two things here: that you are the Messiah, and that you are the Son of Elohim. It's kind of a dual charge here. And read again for 64 there.
Yeshua said to him, you have said it. Besides, I say to you, from now on you shall see the Son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power and coming out of the clouds of heaven.
Okay, very good. So it's so interesting when we look at, again, if we think about what it is that they're accusing him of, saying that he's the Messiah and the Son of Elohim, both things. He don't say that that's not the case. It's more of an affirmation of what they have said, and then he adds to that. From now, he said, you'll see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, which of course hints towards Psalms 110, and coming on the clouds of the heavens, which of course hints towards Daniel 7. And so he has this response that causes you to look at these certain messianic verses that add kind of this divine characteristic to the Messiah. You know, because there's many messianic verses, and some of them you kind of sit in the place of, you know, this Davidic line or this deliverer of some sort. But certain messianic scriptures kind of add this extra situation which points us towards the divinity of the Messiah. Now, when we look at these verses, you know, specifically like Psalms 110 and 1, it kind of gives you this kind of abstract thing, you know, the master of my master, you know, sits at the right hand of the Most High. It's abstract. And then when we see where Yeshua previously speaks about these, you know, this particular verse, and is speaking about his own self, as if to say he is the one that's being referenced over there. And even if we think about it in terms of, you know, David at this point is gone. And so something miraculous has to happen in order for it to be him, right? And something miraculous has to happen for him to be looking backward and calling someone that came from him as if it's someone that's over him. And so, but with Yeshua's answer, he's mixing the two of these things together, and the thing that he has to say is too much for them. It's too much for them to bear. They start ripping their clothes off. They're going, this is like, you know, that's what they did, you know, for whatever reason. The culture is so interesting.
I mean, I think even the culture of calling him to oath, you wouldn't really understand that Yeshua has to speak whenever they call him to oath.
No, you have to understand what
Or in that culture.
Yeah. Because, you know, you would think that he could just continue to not say anything. But again, he's compelled, you know, and, you know, again, you don't have to be a one that is in sin. If you see a thing, it's kind of like the verse that goes along with the tail-bearing verse, the evil tongue verse. If you see something and you're quiet about it, you know, you're being sinful by not saying something about it. Like this whole culture that we have in today's society of, you know, not snitching is against the Torah. Right? It's like built into this culture that we live in. You know, I ain't saying nothing. I seen what happened, but I ain't talking to the police. But when they hit Yeshua with that thing, then the priest knew what he was doing. And so he's compelled to speak, and he kind of one-ups it with his answer. And so when we think about, again, you know, when we look at their response to the priests, it was blasphemous. This is the thing that they needed to hear the whole time. This is what they waiting. This is the thing that they was waiting for. They don't need anybody else to say anything. Yeshua said what he said, and there was however many witnesses was right there. So they don't need no witnesses because they themselves are the witnesses. Blasphemy. Now, people can say what they want to say about who they think Yeshua is. Based on what he said here, the Pharisees thought that he was making himself be equal with the Most High. When he hints towards Psalms 110 verse 1 with this idea of sitting at the right hand of the power. What's that saying there? What's the King James say in that verse right there?
Say
Right
power.
hand of power.
Oh, the King James also says power. Yes. Right, because they don't have to like direct quote word for word the verses over here. He's hinting towards it, and they knew what he meant. Right? And so, who sits at the right hand of the Most High? Who's over there? He's saying they're taking what he said to be meaning him. Right? Because I guess he's not really saying it. I guess. He said from now on you'll see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power. I guess he didn't say that's me. But
Well, he's,
I mean, I don't know who else it could be. He said what you said. You said I'm the Messiah. You said it.
Yeah.
You said I'm the son of Elohim. That's what you said, and I'm not going to take that away from what you said. But from now on, you're going to see the Son of Man. Nobody said the Son of Man either. By the way, they said the Son of Elohim. But again, when we think about kind of the thought of who the Messiah would be, the Messiah we see called the Son of Man, Son of Elohim, in various places. And so again, so the difference is when we think about the idea of Messiah, Messiah simply really is the anointed one. And there could be many anointed ones. And we see that throughout the scripture. But when we connect the anointed one with the Son of Elohim and connect it with, the things that we see. Hey, let's look at Daniel 7.
7:13.
I got the wrong person.
Oh, you could just click on that right there. If you want.
Okay, all right.
It says, and I was looking in the night vision and saw one like the son of Enosh coming with the clouds of the heavens, and he came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him.
Okay, very good. So we can say what we want to say about this word here. Daniel, the book of Daniel is in Aramaic, right? And so they have different words, similar words to Hebrew, but it's not exact. But whatever the Son of Man is, he's coming with the clouds of the heavens. Now, I'm going to need for somebody to explain to me how someone that isn't divine does that. Or how he comes to the Ancient of Days. Like either one of those things. And so again, this messianic figure that Daniel speaks about, that Yeshua recalls in his response to the accusation, again, there's no issue with anyone saying that they're Messiah, like they're anointed of Elohim. But once you put yourself in the vicinity of the Most High, sharing his glory, which you will be doing if you're sitting at his right hand, you've put yourself in a place where no regular individual belongs or qualifies to be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, even the rulership of all the people, they're going to serve him, and there's going to be this everlasting rule that shall never pass away, and there's this element of worship and all of these different things. You know, Yeshua is literally talking about himself and placing himself there.
Yeah.
And they're just like, that's just too much for them.
They know what it means. And that justifies this. You know, the thing that they're doing is crooked, but they're going about their crookedness
Righteous.
in a right way, if that makes any sense.
Well, half right, because they didn't kill all the
I mean, there's rightness. It's a little bit right. But so you know, I think about the fact that with their desire to do this thing, can we accept their ruling if, you know, they're kind of a little bit wicked in what they're doing? I guess somebody can make the argument these is wicked people. You know, they're saying that he's blaspheming, but is he really? Because this whole thing is crooked, what they're doing to begin with. You know, I guess somebody could make that argument. I wouldn't make the argument, but I'm saying somebody I think could. I want to look over at Jeremiah 23. Look at Jeremiah 23, 5 and 6. You know, there can be many messiahs, but the Messiah who the people of this time that they're looking for has these other qualities that other past messiahs don't have. What's 23, 5 and 6 say?
Jeremiah 23:5. See, the days are coming, declares Yahweh, when I shall raise up David a branch of righteousness, and a sovereign shall reign and act wisely, and shall do right ruling and righteousness in the earth. In his days, Yehudah shall be saved, and Israel dwell safely. And this is his name, whereby he shall be called Yahweh our righteousness.
Mm-hmm. Put with that Isaiah 9 and 6 and 7.
Isaiah 9 and 6. For a child is born unto us, a son is given unto us, and the rule is on his shoulder, and his name is called Wonder, Counselor, Strong El, Father of Continuity, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his rule and peace there is no end upon the throne of David and over his reign, to establish it and sustain it with right ruling and with righteousness from now on, even forever. The order of Yahweh of hosts does this.
This one is father and priest. I mean prince. He's father and prince. He's eternal father. And he's prince. I think that when we look at these things, it helps us to understand that when we think about the essence of who Yeshua is, and the response that he has to the accusations, it helps for us to understand that these people, with their, the thing that they were accusing Yeshua of doing, they weren't, this isn't a false accusation. that they have. And he agrees with them again, and he doubles down on it. And this also goes along with something that Yeshua tells Peter privately. The whole reason why they couldn't get people to say what they wanted, what the Sanhedrin wanted for him to say, because he kind of kept this thing on the low. He wasn't saying it all over the place like that, because this is what happens. It's not his time. Many times he says, we can't go into all of this. It's not my time. But if we look at Matthew 16, we'll close down with this. Matthew 16. 15 through 17.
Matthew 16:15, and he said to them, "And you, who do you say I am?" And Shimon Kephon answering said, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living Elohim." And Yeshua answering said to him, "Blessed are you, Simeon Bar Yonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in the heavens."
Peter has this revelation that Yeshua is the builder and the continuer of the house of Elohim. But that's what a son is. He builds the house, right? He's the continuation. He continues the building of the house. This is what Yeshua is to the Father, but he said that flesh and blood, you can't know this by flesh and blood. This is something that comes from spiritual revelation. The Sanhedrin, they was so carnal. They didn't understand this idea that the Messiah is in fact the son of Elohim, that there is a divine situation that exists with Yeshua and who he is. And when Peter, when converted Peter on the other side in Acts chapter 2, part of his thing that's getting people to come to the knowledge of Yeshua, he brings back up Psalm 110. Of the fact of this divine Messiah, of this Messiah who is Messiah and the Son of the living Elohim. Like this spiritual revelation that he already has, part of his preaching of the gospel is that same fact. And so again, when we look over at these things that's happening, the Yeshua has to die. He has to die to fulfill his purpose. But it's so, I think, important also that it's not like it's just like it's not like a random thing. It's not even a wrong thing. He's dying, standing on this truth that is the truth. It's not like he died because of a lie.
Some people would try to say they were flying.
Yeah, or that he didn't die at all, or that was his twin, or something.
Somebody that looked like him.
Yeah, or he was in a coma or something. Right? He died on truth. He died and it was based on what they said that he was, and he was that. And then again, like I said, when Peter, when Spirit-filled Peter comes back, this is part of his message, like the reality of who Yeshua is, and in his essence. And so I think that it's important that as believers in the Messiah, that it's important for us to be able to understand what Yeshua is, who he is, what he is, in essence. He is who he says that he is, and that is the continuer and builder of the house of Elohim. He said to his disciples in just a few chapters ago that he's returning back to the place from where he came from. Someone who elevates to a particular status, like people try to say that Yeshua becomes Messiah and he becomes divine. I don't know how you get back to a place where you came from if you moved up the ladder and became divine.
You have to move it.
Yeah.
I think,
Huh? What'd you say? Oh, somebody they got comments over there?
Well, she said the Pharisees were as usual more concerned with procedure than the heart of the matter.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of their MO, right? Little do they know that this thing that they're doing is nefarious as it is. This thing that they're doing really is bringing about the will of the Most High. They think that they're stopping something, but really they're starting something. And this thing that was started right here, I mean, just the timing, right? They're doing all of this, and at the same time, the people are getting the Passover lambs ready to be killed. While they're sitting up and doing all this, they probably had to tell somebody, like, we got to go over here, we got to do something with this Yeshua character, but in the meantime, make sure we get this lamb together, so when we come back, it's going to be time to get this. Meanwhile, Yeshua is the lamb. And so this thing that they're meaning for evil, works out for our good.
Amen.
All right, does anybody have any?
I had a verse.
Oh, good.
1 Peter 1, verse 20 to 21.
1 Peter 1, 20 to 21. It says, foreknown indeed before the foundation of the world, but manifested in these last times for your sakes, who through him believe in Elohim, who raised him from the dead and gave him esteem, so that your belief and expectation are in Elohim.
So I'm saying that, where it says here that in these last times, and it would be in King James, in these last days, for the sake of you, he appeared. That, the Messiah, and he was slain before the foundation of the world. And this had to happen in time for the sake of us. It had to go through the motion here, you know what I mean? For the sake of us. So it has to happen in time, but we all know, well, I don't know if all of us know, but we all know that he's outside of time and space. So it has to happen within time and within space for our sakes. Mm-hmm. It was done from the foundation, from the beginning.
Yeah. And it's so interesting, again, when you think about it from that perspective. It's like, if this thing is already done, and these people who don't have no good intent in mind with the things that they're doing, and meanwhile they just working right into the Most High's plan.
They're part of the plan.
The integral parts of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like the plan can't even be done without these ignorant people doing these things with bad intentions.
Yep.
The plan don't even get done. Well, I guess it gets done, but we don't know how it
How
will
else?
get done. You know what I mean? All right. Does anybody have any last question?
Yeah, it's interesting the parallels. That the theme stays the same even to this day. Like, Yeshua, the people wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? The people wasn't ready, and most of the disciples didn't even know what Yeshua was talking about.
They did.
No. The Pharisees and Sadducees sitting in the seat of Moses. They didn't want that, and even to this day, principalities, we're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. We gotta be careful on how we speak. We gotta use code words. We gotta use metaphors so that those that have an ear to hear and an eye to see will be able to understand. Those who are filled with Ruach, but those people that will put us to death, because they put people to death with words.
Yeah.
To this day. To this day.
Yeah.
Anyone who's trying to free the minds of the people, who's trying to set the captives free, you will pay the ultimate cost. We have to be ready to do that, but we should still be wise as serpent, as harmless as dove, and speak so that those who the Most High has his hands on hear us, but it'll go over the heads of those who are trying to kill us.
I mean, Yeshua was the master teacher. His disciples who sat with him the whole time, had to pull him to the side on several occasions. Like, I know you said that, but what was you talking about when you had said that? But he literally said that he said what he said to confuse the people, though, on purpose, to want you to have to find out and ask questions. If you want to know, you're gonna come and see, like, what's his name, the Nicodemus. Like, he had to come secretly and come like, what you mean? Like, born again? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like, but I think that, there's wisdom in what you're saying. It's like, you have to want to, like, he didn't just sit there and give the people all the answers. Not even his own disciples didn't have all the answers. Even to the very end, he left out of here, and they still needed the Spirit to kind of connect the dots. Like, he gave them all of the tools where like, they had the answer sheet, but it was still like encoded. The answer sheet was encoded. It needed the Spirit to come and really to open the things up.
Yeah.
And but he said things like, "Eat my flesh and drink my blood," knowing that people gonna be like, "What? Man, I'm out of here. You crazy." But his disciples, like, I don't know what you talking about, but I know that you are the son of the living Elohim. I got faith in you, even though I don't know what that is that you talking about. And so I think that's helpful for us to understand that, the nature of who Yeshua is an interesting situation. But just because we don't have a full understanding, just because we may not have a full understanding of what that is, if we can see what it is that Yeshua did for us, let that be the thing that we concentrate on as opposed to these other things. Because, the closer you get to the Most High through the Ruach HaKodesh, the more you're able to really understand who it is that the Most High is, that Yeshua is.
Yeah.
Really, the only thing that He requires of us to understand is what it is that He did for us in terms of canceling our debt and joining us back to the Creator. We can figure out what it all means, but you need to get in the door first, though. Get in the door.
Yeah.
Understand that you can't come to the Father but through Him. If you don't understand what that means, just know that. And then, you'll figure it out. It'll come to you. But no, you got to get out this boiling water right now. You got to get out this hot grease right now. You can figure out how you got into grease later. All right. Okay, so that being said, nobody has any more thoughts, questions, comments? We could be done for now, y'all willing. Be back on next Shabbat to continue with our look at the annual Torah portion and also the words of the Master. We have a few more portions coming on this last day of the Master. We got some. What do you got? Some announcements? What do you got? What?
Yeah.
Oh, we had, what's that, the last week? The last week of December, Youth on Fire Conference. Was it the last weekend?
There you go.
Somebody who knows want to go ahead and say what all that stuff is over there?
So the weekend before the last weekend of
Oh,
December
the weekend before the last week.
is the Youth on Fire Conference, which is in Townsend, Baltimore, Maryland. This has been an annual situation that's been going on for over 30 years, started in 1993, where the youth of the Most High come together. The family of Bethel wanted to create a place for the youth to come together and to be open and to express themselves to the Most High and be accepted. So this will be happening starting specifically on December 26th, but there are shorter dates, which is the 25th of December, which is a Thursday, and the 29th of December, which is a Monday. The 26th, 27th, and 28th is the Youth on Fire weekend. We have some information on here, which is like pricing and those things. I won't get into the details of that, but what I will direct you to is our website, which is the YouthOnFireConference.org, which has pricing on there. You can register for your tickets on there. We also have the schedule, which was recently uploaded on there. We have a lot of activities going on, starting with the 25th, which is college night that night, which is hosted by myself and one of my counterparts. And we're just talking about faith, being in college, what that looks like, and how to stay on the straight and narrow path. And then the 26th, which is Joy Night, where the youth will have opportunities, whether they want to sing a song, whether they want to quote poems, where they can express the talents that the Most High have given them on the 26th. 27th is service, which is praise and worship. Then we have breakouts for classes for youth and adults. So even if you're in between of the ages of like 17 to 21, there's also classes for you as well. That night we'll have a formal ball. And the next day, the 28th, which is family creativity time, where there will be portraits, will be led by a teacher. We'll have a basketball tournament that day, and then ending it out with family bowling. Most families are leaving that day or leaving the 29th. We really encourage you all to come out. It's been an amazing time for myself. I've grown, I've learned a lot. So it's, even if you do not have any children, to come out and to support. If you know others that have children, the rooms are filling up very quickly. We have a slot of 100 rooms. Right now we're at 86 rooms, I believe, the last time we looked
I
at
love
it.
89.
89. Well, the rooms are gone, guys, but we really, truly do encourage you all to come be a part and to fellowship. Even if you don't stay for the entire weekend, that is also an option.
Did you come up with a thing yet?
We have not. Also, follow the Instagram account and the Facebook account. Instagram is YLFC93, and the Facebook account, because we will be voting on the theme on the social medias, and social medias also have promotions and a lot of information as well. So follow those if you want information. The website is youthonfire.org. Oh wait, youthonfireconference.org. There we go.
So what are the choices on the formal ball so far?
Right now it is African royalty, and then the other one is the Harlem Renaissance. We don't have a third one. If you have any suggestions, message us on our social media if you want to suggest another theme. So right now just African royalty, and also the Harlem Renaissance. Last year was a sneaker ball, and there's a lot of pictures online as well. If you're interested in more information, you can ask myself or Hiskey, Mama Tirsa, or my mother Naomi, as we're on the committee as well.
Hallelujah.
I'm not officially on the committee. I'm just, yeah,
All right. Is that it?
know everything.
Was that? Did you have another thing?
We'll be at the Congregation of Yeshua next week.
Oh yeah, that is.
On Wednesday.
Oh yeah, that is right. We oh yeah. I forgot we still got days to go. Day of Atonement. Day of Atonement will be with the Congregation of Yeshua. What's that? Next Friday? This Friday.
Why my Day of Atonement? These dates aren't.
About to say these dates is
October.
it's old. That's old.
That's the old one. You
Yeah.
just be recycling the same pictures.
I'm just, we don't gotta talk about my picture.
Day of Atonement will be with Congregation of Yeshua, and then
Don't worry.
5 days after that, we're going to Sukkot. So I don't know what the streaming capabilities are going to be. We'll see, but we'll either be live or release recorded things as we're down there. All right. So for now, we'll say Shabbat Shalom.